All right, so start of the new week, and we had a great week, and it looks like our week is also starting really. It's also starting great. So there's a couple things I want to highlight, but definitely my nines that I've hit. Let me update this. So I'm going to start on the 4 hour. Here's a nine that popped up. Let's see, on the 14th. So that was 2 days ago, technically. Uh, if we talk about Bitcoin, I guess time, UTC time, we did hit a nine. I mean, we did retest a nine here back on the 13th. I also want to talk about this candle because this candle actually developed as soon as the traditional markets closed, like 5 minutes after they closed on Friday. We got a huge, massive candle. The movement was very, very quick. So I just want to clear out some of these nines that we have. So we retested this one. I think I cleared this one out on on my last video, but I wasn't quite sure. This was a nine that was all the way back from March 5th. So we can take that one out. We properly retested that one, and we can see that we did have some resistance here. Now, if I want to pull up, let's pull up my Ichimoku cloud and see if that coincided with resistance. Not really. I would have thought it would have, but it didn't. Do we have anything else? I don't see anything else I want to bring. Yeah, I can bring up my triple MAs. There really wasn't resistance there, but there was resistance here, all the way back from that nine, and then we broke out of it. So I'm gonna take this off, update my chart. We hit a nine. There's a daily nine that we also cleared out. So we had this daily nine all the way back from April 25th, where we bounced off of it. And I remember talking. If you go back to this video here, that I'm quite worried about that we didn't go back down and retest that. If this candle would have gone all the way back down, turned into a green one, I would have been a little bit more confident about this move. I was worried about it. We did have this day where it was a reversal candle. We didn't keep the momentum. So if I go to the CMF, see, there wasn't good momentum there. We didn't, even though we got a bounce in the candle, we didn't get a bounce in the CMF. So what happens? We went below it. This is where China FUD and Energy FUD all comes in. Started the formation of our candle. Had a 9 here, retested. Had a 9, retested. 9 here. Finally, we've retested it. We can take that off. But this seems like, I mean, you can see this here that this was like a head and shoulders, right? Now, head and shoulders, let's just call it a cup and handle. So let me get rid of this real quick, and I'll draw. Let me see. Did I draw it in that time? I did. So I did draw it all the way back then. So I can come here. Let's see if we reach the target of the cup and handle. So let's go for the full cup here. That would have been probably right around here. And did we reach the target? We did reach the target. The target was 29, say 29,255. Where do we go? Went as low as 29,301. This one was 28.8. So we reached the target of the full cup and handle. We formed a channel. So there we go. Cup and handle that we reached our target. I mean, that's perfect. That's like textbook. So I can get rid of that. We've bounced off of that area. We have the 9. And then we're just waiting for the target of this channel. And do I have that drawn already? I don't. What was I drawing here? Was I just drawing some sort of triangle? Cup and handle, I think I was trying to draw. I could probably get rid of this. Yeah, that must have been on a smaller time frame. I probably hit that. Let's get rid of these. I don't know what these were attempting to be. I think it was attempting to be a descending triangle. Get rid of this, and I'll get rid of this. And I think this is just the height of my channel. It's a little bit higher. I'll use it as the height of my channel. And I said I think this was like mid 55. Yeah, so that's our that's our target. Mid 55s. We're not quite there yet. I can go over a couple things that I like that I'm seeing. Let's see this 4 here. Where's this 4 coming from? Oh, it's coming from this 9. We didn't quite retest this, but we break all-time highs, and I'm going to say I'm not going to not say I'm not worried about this, but I'll just leave this on my chart for now. So let's go over a couple things that I like. I like that we have some good CMF movement. We hit a 9. We've come back down a little bit, taken a little bit of rest. We hit a 9 here. We hit a 9 on the daily. We're just consolidating around it. We need now the CMF is diverging bearishly. We need this to start to turn up. To now this can descend down, but I'm not going to be that confident in our price movement. Yeah, we can get to the target of the channel, but once we get there, if this continues to trend down, I would say that we're probably in store for, you know, a 10 or 50% drop at that time, which would basically get us back to where we're at. So this really needs to turn up. Weekly needs to start trending up. I mean, our moving averages look great. We could have anticipated this move. There was a couple of things that I talked about last week. I talked about the hash ribbons, and then I didn't talk about the lucid SAR, but because I didn't notice it. But the same week that the hash ribbons gave us a buy, the stop and reversal points gave us a buy. So the last time this happened was all the way back. Well, the hash ribbons gave us multiple buys, but I'm talking about the SAR. So the SAR gave us back in May, price essentially ran up for 12 months. I mean 11 months. Until we got a break of that. I actually bought here because I thought this was nothing but a little slight pullback and that we would go higher. But, averaging all the way down, and whenever we got this hash ribbon buy last week, I said historically that's a good time to buy. That's a good time that says, go all in. And it gave you multiple buys here in April 2020, and then it gave you another one in July, and then it gave us another one in November. So it even gave you one back in December of 2019. That wasn't the ultimate entry, right? Because that you still would have drawn down 50%, but you would have been back to those prices in weeks. It would have basically taken 6 weeks, a month and a half, and you would have been fine. It would have been signaling another buy after the COVID crash in April, really a month after. So you could have bought it here at the same price or here at the same price, essentially. But they were good entries. Even this one back in January of 2019, it was essentially a month after, or a couple weeks after that ultimate bottom came in. It would have gotten you in at 3,500, and you could have ridden that up until it broke here if you wanted to, and then bought again here. Let's see, it would have gotten you out at say 10,000. That would have been two. Let's see, 3x your money, about say 2.5. So it's a good indicator that hash ribbons and SAR did a relatively okay job. Did it do a good job here though? Here it would have gotten you in March. It still would have did a good job. So both these together are good signals. I like this. I like the way these look. I like the way my moving averages are going. I like the way my CMF is going. Not my CMF. I like the way my TD sequential is going. I like the way my funding rate is going because the market is still short this, even though we've ran up. So it hasn't flipped positive. The sentiment is not, the whole market is not convinced that we're going higher. So the longer this stays negative, the better. Eventually they will all capitulate and this will turn positive, and then we'll see, because this went positive in November 2020 and then went back negative in May, but the top actually happened probably here, April. So 5 months, or not 5 months, 6 months. Yeah, 5-6 months. You had until the top. So until this flips positive, I'm not really worried. Even on the daily, this 9, and we're consolidating around it. The funding rate is negative, which means the market is not, like I said, 100% convinced. It's still short the Bitcoin price as a whole, even though our hash ribbons and our lucid SAR are saying we should be positive. Our CMF really needs to go up, and I would really like this setup. If this starts, let's see what it looks like on the 4-hour. 4-hour, it's ticking up, consolidating around here. If you get a green number above a prior green number, that's an entry. Our CMF, I would think, would probably start to bounce off of this. Let's look at our RSI because I haven't brought that up yet. RSI is starting to trend back up. The daily, it's still consolidating around the upper bounds, which is I think is good. As long, but like I said, really need the CMF to go up. If we consolidate here for a couple of days, I think that's okay. Even if we start to pull back to like 4,500, 45K, that'd be okay. Um, because it's just consolidation. Even if we can just consolidate this whole week, I think that'd be okay, because then I think that next week we would really break out. Um, because if we get like a daily close, considering my moving averages, if we get a daily close above a daily or a 4 hour close above last week's high of 48, say 150, I can go ahead and enter my position, enter another, if I'm going by my moving averages, 25% entry. I wouldn't go fully in until this intermediate is above this longer term, but that might come in like week 8 or 9, because I think we're definitely going to get a 9 count to the upside, which brings us 6, 7, 8, 9 would bring us in September. And I said whenever we dropped that it would take us, you know, 4 to 5 months until we would go back to, I think, all time highs. So, what? No, what did I say? Did I say 4 to 5? Yeah, it was like 3 to 4 is what it was. So I said August or September. We're in August. Um, we are. That would bring us past September. So 6, 7, 8, 9. No, that'd bring us in September. I thought it'd bring us past September, but it'd bring us in September. I say that's how long it would take to get back to the all time highs. My timing would be, pretty close, but then that would also coincide possibly from this moving average getting back to a buy signal. And I mean, that would be okay, but I would say that if you're going off of that, because this is going to potentially give us a buy in the beginning of September. So yeah, probably around the 8 or 9, because we're probably going to get that 9 count unless some sort of catastrophe happens, with some new FUD that I kind of not I'm not a I'm not a I can't read the future, but I don't see any at the moment that would give me any concern that we are not going to go higher and reach the target of this channel. So, yeah, that would get you in based on our moving average strategy, this 3MA moving average strategy. But you would probably buy with an expectation of seeing a bit of a pullback. Percentage wise, maybe 5%. That's conservative. It could be more aggressive than that at that time, but again, I wouldn't know until it gets there, because right now, what I do like I said, is the hash ribbons and the lucid SAR is telling us we're in a good spot for a rally, or for I'm not going to say for a rally, because a rally can be interpreted in different ways. A rally for some person can be 5%. A rally for others could say, oh, I thought you said a rally, and they're expecting 40-50% run up. So I think we're in for positive price action. I don't think we're going to see any aggressive price movement downward. I also like this pi cycle average. So it actually called the top, and it's been so consistent at calling the top. You could have traded this and got out and then waited until you see some positive price action like you see now, and some other indicators saying to go back in. As of right now, if it happened today and this moving average went super parabolic, we would break the all-time high. So this is trending up. This is good that it's trending up, indicating that we're going to get a new all-time high as long as we can sustain our rally. And our rally looks pretty solid right now. I want to show this heat map, because this never went. This is the 200-week heat map. This is basically percentage movement monthly of increase over the 200-week moving average. This never went red. This is what I was waiting for, to see a red and to see the pi cycle moving average coincide with that, and that'd be like a perfect, call the top. But it never happened. We didn't quite get there. We went blue, because we went below the 200-week moving average. No, I'm sorry. We went below the 200-day moving average. We're now back above that, but we never went red on the weekly. With respect to this chart. So that indicated to me that this was not a top. It would be uncharacteristic of previous cycles, because you can see that this turned red. So this was a very special. This is going to be an outlier, I think, in Bitcoin's history as far as tops go, because we essentially had minor capitulation in the middle of a bull bull run. So I don't think it's over. Prices recovered. All indications is saying that it's not over. Um, so I think that's it. I can show, you know, I think that's it. That's all I really wanted to show. I'm bullish on Bitcoin. We'll see how it goes. The Bitcoin dominance is actually decreasing. I kind of don't like that, but it has been lower before in bull cycles. So it looked like it was making a recovery. It's down on the daily. This is a TD9. It's going back down. It looks like it might be recovering a little bit. This is it's at 44 percent. We like I said, it was going up. We had some aggressive movement. It was almost at 50, and then it kind of just collapsed back down. So, can it go back below here? Yeah, it can. I would have liked it to seen a reclaim at least like 60%, but it didn't. Alts are, still doing very fine. Ethereum ran up. Cardano ran up based on news that they're going to start. The smart contract implementation is going to be coming through soon. That's all based off of Charles Hoskinson. If you're a Cardano follower, it's basically the execution of that team to get those in, and then I think it's going to be a buy the rumor, sell the fact. Ripples ran up, and then Doge got pumped by Elon and Mark Cuban again over the weekend, so it's up 17%. That's really the only outliers that I saw that had got some attention. Looked like Solana is moving. Not sure what's going on there, but it looks like it's up 23%. So we'll see how it goes. I'm going to take gold. Had gotten smoked. I'd got it on my gold positions. I was like, gold is trash. It did have an aggressive upward movement. It definitely bounced aggressively off of the previous support, and that served as support again. I think if it drops again and sees that, it's probably going to fall through. I really expected it to come here and retest this area, but it pulled back up. These moving averages are still down. I'm not going to open a position in gold. It's just it's not performing as well as everyone I guess thought it would in the environment that is happening right now with higher inflation and low interest rates. It's just not doing it. We can look at oil because oil had gone down. It's hitting this historical trend line. It hit it and found some support. Moving averages are going down, so this is actually bearish on oil. It can definitely, we'll see how this happens. I mean, it hadn't broken this in 10 years. What was it? It was a long time. I mean, this 2008 is when it started to form, so it's been 13 years essentially where it hasn't broken it. Finally broke it, hit a 9. This just could be a consolidation area for the next couple of months, say 4 to 5 months, to get us through the winter, and then at the beginning of next year we could see some more aggressive price movement up. I usually don't trade off of the monthly because it's just too long of a time frame, but we had a 9, we went above it, retested it. I don't think there's CMF data on this. Oh, there is. So this is trending down. This would have to go back up. I think this is going to be resistance right here. These moving averages start to flatten out. You see CMF go up. That's going to be bullish for oil. Our RSI is trending down. We can look at it on the daily. So there's good CMF on the daily. Yeah, again, this would be resistance right at 0.3. So we'll see. This is lower highs. This is definitely a base. If this goes down, if oil gives way, if oil closes on a daily time frame below $66, you can definitely bet that it's going to go lower. Is it going to stay below this historical trend line for the week? I would say, I mean, you can see, I would say that there's probably an increase in volatility, and that can be shown in the Bollinger Bands. On the weekly, it really isn't. I mean, it's actually going down, but let's see what it looks like on the daily. There was a little bit of increased volatility. It was low here, super high over here. What was this? This must have been COVID. This is definitely COVID. Yeah. So yeah, it was low. It's gone higher. Looks like it's settling down again. But on the weekly, I thought this would definitely be a little bit higher than it is now. It's definitely trending down, which signaling that we're probably going to see larger swings in oil. I mean, this was a 7% swing, so we could see maybe another, you know, another 5 to 10% week soon. Which way, as of right now, it looks pretty, I would say, neutral. But yeah, I think that's it. Appreciate it, and thanks for watching.